Well, hello, Dragon family. Excited to see everybody here on a Friday. I know it's, again, the time keeps lapsing by. I've been super busy now that I'm back on a session schedule. Had a lot of great sessions this week. Been very fun to dive back into that. And with all the orders coming in, and I'm super excited. We're getting close to that 50 mark, especially for the paperbacks. If you guys haven't seen it yet, here is the beautiful cover of the new book, The Ascension Protocol. And I wanted to bring this forward. I'm going to go into an interesting topic today, a question that I had last week about your merge with your dragon. We've talked about what it feels like before, but this was a great question. It said, do you feel it the same way? Do you always feel your dragon in the same way as you do the first time you merge with them? How is it different? Or the first time you feel your dragon come in? Is it always the same? Do you always recognize it in the same way? So I want to talk about that. But before then, while everybody's coming on and finding the live, I wanted to just mention the book club. Many of you know and have participated in the past in a Dragon Within book club from the first book. And it was really just an amazing discussion group and group meditations together, because the exponential power of a group dynamic meditation and the dragons that would come in based on the discussions were always incredible. Talking anything and everything about dragons. It really didn't have to do anything with the book unless you wanted it to. We don't have to read the book per se to go and have those discussions, or to bring up something from the book and go deeper into it. I had a lot of fun with those, and I thought it would be fun to bring it back with the new book now that it's out. So when you've seen the Ascension Protocol Book Club, and if you haven't seen that, the registration is through the booking calendar, which is the Book Now button on the homepage of either site, Dragon Within or InvokeHealing.com. The new site, the ascensionprotocol.com, is literally just to buy the new book, whether you get it ebook, you can get Kindle, you can get a PDF, you can get the print paperback, you can get the hardcover. But the exciting thing is that to have that information in front of you, to have you start diving into it, and over a month's time have a chance to read and go, wow, that really went over my head. Because I will acknowledge there is a lot of material in this book that is new, that is going to stretch your mental body to let it release into higher perspective point. That's the goal with our ascension process. So I wanted to be available to have those discussions and answer your questions directly. And as you're like, wow, I'm getting really confused about this part, or what do you really mean by that? What can we go into that deeper? That's why I'm creating the book club. It's going to be a 4-week opportunity starting the 21st of this month on Mondays from 1 to 3 Pacific Standard, just to have that discussion group. It's super fun and not only informative, but you get direct contact with me, the author, to ask the questions right there. Like, you talk about this in the book. Can we go into that deeper? What do you really mean by it? How do we apply that? So I'm looking forward to it. I know there's been some interest, and a lot of people are just waiting to have their books to really go, gosh, is it time for me to do that? I'm excited to say that all these orders that have been coming in, if you've been one of those, I want to thank you for buying direct. I will say you can get it on Amazon. It's out there. It's how it gets to other places in the world, especially when shipping is crazy to go globally. But particularly if you're in the US, I would appreciate the support of you buying it direct through the ascensionprotocol.com, because when you buy through Amazon, quite literally the authors get almost nothing. They get very, very little from the whole percentage of the book cost, the print charges, everything. It comes out to very little. So if you do want to support the work and support it getting out in the world, and support the author who brought it through, or the dragons who brought it through, please buy direct from the Ascension Protocol. So those of you that have bought direct, I appreciate your orders, and they were all pre-orders as the books are shipping. They're on their way to me. They should be here by Tuesday. I was expecting them into this week, but that means they'll ship by Wednesday, unless there's a snowstorm that blocks the trucks from getting here. They should ship by Wednesday latest. I'm hoping to get some out Tuesday afternoon if they get here early enough with the truck. So I'm excited about that, and I want to thank each of you personally for ordering directly from the site. Even with the ebooks, it's more direct to the author if you're buying the ebook directly from me, and they're the same price. For the print copies, particularly hard copy, I know you save a few bucks if you buy through Amazon, but all of that is because they can undercut the direct retail price that's on the book. They're undercutting it. Nothing I can do about it, but that's the way of the world. So think about that with all of the books you're buying. We save a lot of money through Amazon, but it's making well-lined pockets getting more lined, and those that are actually putting the work out, not necessarily. Just something to think about. But I'm excited for this and for the book club, and I thank you guys for being there. So with that said, if you have any questions about the book club, the format, what it would be like, please feel free to send me an email, array@dragonwithin.com. You guys know that by now. Maybe you have questions about how to register, whatever questions you are, or maybe you have questions about dragons. Please send them, because that's how and why we do these discussions each week. These are for you guys. So let's dive into this week's question of what it feels like, or as an ongoing process once you're merging with your dragon. Does it always feel the same, or is there an evolution to it? Because there definitely is. I will say the first time that I merged with my dragon, a lot of you experience this where you feel like, whoa, do I just feel talons come out of my hands? Or I feel like there's a wing trying to stretch out of my back. Sometimes it gets stuck. You're like, well, I got back pain for a few days, maybe a few months. What's going on there? I need some help to get that out. So when you actually merge with your dragon fully the first time, and many of you have experienced this now, thanks to the work in the first book, The Dragon Within, or doing one of my programs, you got to that space. You feel that dragon come up in and through you, and you feel that presence almost overlay you, as if you're like, whoa, I can feel the dragon's scales. I can feel their ears. I can feel their snout. I can feel the tail. Whatever part that is for you, that's an amazing experience. And you will get that every time that when that pulls out, now you're back into just you. And then here it comes again. You call it forward. It's coming in. And whoa, what does that feel like? Well, the more and more consistently you do that, the more and more merged you become on a regular basis. That's the goal. We're merging with our highest self. If your highest self is dragon, that's how you're going to experience it. So as you're merging with your dragon, and you start to feel that deeper sense of energetic connection, deeper sense of knowing, your telepathic body opening, some of the shifts happening in your own body or bodies, your mental body shifting its perspective, that's all coming from that merge, from that higher vibrational capacity to look at things in a different way, to interface with the 3D realm in a different way. That's what our merge takes us into. So how does that progress? It does actually become more and more consistent, where at some point you stop needing to call it in intentionally, because it's just sort of anchored within you. It's there, it's present. Sometimes you have to set your intention or your conscious connection into like, yeah, my dragon's there, I feel it. It's more in the background, but I feel it. And that's where it goes to, you might not necessarily feel the protrusions, the skin, the hyper awareness of what that dragon breastplate felt like the first time it came in, or the spine. It becomes more the norm, just like anything else we do in life. We put on a new shirt, it feels new, it feels crispy, it feels stiff, and the more we wear it, the more we wash it, the more it just becomes part of our skin. It's like, oh, that's the coziest shirt I own. That's what I'm wearing, my coziest shirt I own today, because I love that feeling. It's just like, whew, it's part of me. I don't even notice that I have a shirt on, right? And your dragon becomes that same way. You get so accustomed to it that you stop being aware of the characteristics or the markers of what that merge felt like, but you become more aware of a calmness, a centeredness, a stillness, a knowing that starts to rise through you. For me, my reading space stays expanded, where I don't have to be eyes closed necessarily in a reading space here to have the information continue to flow. I'm in that merged space and it just starts rolling, and here we go. We've got all this stuff flowing, and that's because I'm merged with my highest self, with my dragon. And so I don't notice the characteristics and the markers as much as I am aware of this difference in presence in myself that is just more stabilized in the world. It's less affected by external dramas or real 3D polarized duality field stuff, and you just move into that space. And that's the whole point of the merge, is to get to where that's your norm. That is your merged state, your unified state that you're trying to attain. And you do that intentionally by consistently calling forth that merge, setting your intention and your focus of, am I merged? Do I feel my dragon? Up. Better bring it forward again. Okay, there it is. How long can I hold on to it? 2 hours later, is my dragon still present? Am I still merged? Maybe not. I need to bring it in again. The more we do that intentionally, the more consistent that merge point is, the more it stays present with us and anchors in, and we have that capacity to be in our fifth dimensional aspect. So it does shift and evolve, and I thought it was a great question, because when you're at the beginning of that journey, you don't know what to expect. You don't know what it's going to look like, but you will feel those progressive shift points until it's finally there full time. So if that begs more questions, please put them in the comments, or let me know here. See a few of you watching. Keep the discussion going. If that's I don't even know what you mean by merging the first time. I've done several videos over the years, but maybe you're new and you don't know where to find those. The YouTube channel is a plethora of 400 plus videos now that you can usually search by keyword or flip through the Dragon playlist and look at the titles. I try to include the title, like what the key topics are, at least with bullet point words, makes it easier to find them. Could have been 3 years ago, could have been 4 years ago. It's still relevant. Even the meditations, are you guys aware of this? The meditations that I did on maybe a winter solstice or an equinox, don't kick those down the road because they were 3 years ago. If that's the energy you need for this transition right now, that you didn't get back then, you're going to get something from that meditation. If your heart is calling you to it, you see it pop up and you're like, oh, I bet that's interesting. Go for it, because there are pieces that are still assimilating. We're not linear anymore, you guys. Do you know that? You're not in a linear progression anymore. We are moving out of linear. We're moving out of what linear is 3D. It's from here to there. It's polarized field. We now are popcorn balling. We're pinballing around our sphere, picking up all the pieces in the order that is popping in. So you might have a piece back from that equinox or that solstice that, like, oh, maybe it was an 8-8 activation. Hey, that piece is important for me right now. Pull it in. It's how we're operating now, and it's how we're meant to move away from linear, away from this duality system and interface that has been our go-to. We're learning how to be outside of that. This is one of those ways. So if you feel like your life has gotten out of control and you're like pinballing all over the place, I can't even focus on thinking linearly anymore, there's a reason for that. And that's a good reason. And don't try to go back to it. Don't try to hone in. I say this a lot. If you are trying to go back and remember something, I have this thing now, and yes, I am in my later 50s. Memory becomes a thing. I can, like with names, it takes me a while for it to pop up. Know the face, know the energy. I gotta let that percolate in and pop out. I don't try and go back and remember things anymore. If they pop in, old memories from school or from friends or whatever, they'll pop in as I need them or have a heart reconnection to something in that energy. But if I try and go back and remember all these things, know that you're going back into 3D timelines. You're anchoring and tethering yourself again in 3D by needing to go back and remember all that. Everything that you need energetically is already stored in your Akash and is in the field with you here, so that it will pop in as you need it. You need to trust that. The journey into your ascension is about full trust in your higher knowing, and the process of when and where it's going to be part of the field as it comes out of your heart. That's a big shift in how we operate. So don't worry if the memory's not there. Keep trusting it, even if you're having senior moments in your 30s. That's how the world is working now. That's how we move into this new way of living. So hopefully that maybe even brought up some new questions for you guys. Send them, post them in the comments. We'll talk about them next week. And until then, we're finally going to get some gorgeous weather here. I hope you are too. I know there's been a lot of big storms across the U.S., sending out and holding space for those that have been in tornadoes and realms of destruction that, whoa, everything just got torn apart. What is that? Always find what is not just the silver lining, but the underlying reason of that creation in your journey. There's a reason for it. It's going to be bringing abundant blessings, even though it's challenging right now. and call for that help, call for that support on the energetic realm. You are a more powerful, creative being than you imagine. Allow that support network that you need to come into place. So just sending that out to our dragon family to hold space for all of those that are in challenge right now, wherever they are in the world, but because I know about the storms in the US, particularly for those. Alrighty. See you guys at some point next week, most likely. I may be very busy getting book orders out. I've got heaps of them on my desk. I'm super excited to get them out, and I want to thank you guys for that support with the new work. Keep it coming. We've got a few more autographed copies available, and hopefully if you're interested in the book club, you will also join us for that. It is usually very fun and very powerhouse discussions that open a lot of things in all of your bodies to move you forward very quickly. It's like a mini quantum flight, leaps and bounds in 4 weeks. All right, talk to you next time. Bye for now, guys.